This is Creepy and Geeky. Welcome to Creepy and Geeky. I'm your host, Robert, and today I'll be talking to Violet Hammond about the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. But first, Donna and I are talking about the stuff we got into this last week. How's it going, Donna?
Hey, Robert, it's going pretty good. It's still hot as balls here in South Carolina.
Every
Just
week,
gotta
every week.
throw it out there. Summer is just not the
No,
thing for
I
me.
don't like summer either. I'm a spring fall guy, and I'd rather keep to those. But nope, that's what happens when we live in the South.
I know, and it's like, not to be funny, but my ancestors, we are sun drinkers, but this is not my element. I am just
No, yeah,
too accustomed to AC. I cannot.
right.
I just can't.
Which again, I find ironic due to the fact that we both grew up in the '80s and AC was not
It
prevalent.
wasn't a thing, but we're
No,
spoiled now.
we are spoiled. Yeah. I'm like, I am not going back. I deserve my AC. I've already lived through that.
Same, totally. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. I'm not going back. I've got central air now. I'm sticking to it. So,
What's funny is our AC actually conked out for like a
no.
day this past week,
Yeah.
and you would have thought I was dying, like I was on my deathbed, and it wasn't even out that long. It was out for maybe 4 hours, but
Yeah. That's
that,
so funny.
that felt like an eternity. And
Oh, yeah. No.
we were making food in the oven, and I was like, no, we're doing takeout because I'm not heating
Yeah.
up this
Yeah.
place anymore.
That's
That's how
so funny.
spoiled I am right
I'm
now.
telling you. I'm with you on that. No way.
But it's been good. I will
Good.
be honest with everybody that's listening. I don't have a lot to bring to the table this week, but I do have some stuff. So that's good at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a ton either. There's a couple of big things I want to talk about at the end. But for right now, let's go ahead and start with some small stuff. There is a new Hellboy the Crooked Man trailer.
That was
That
one of
just
my things, Robert.
okay, sorry, I didn't mean to steal it.
That's okay. I had a feeling we were going to have that one at least. At
Yeah.
least that. Go ahead.
Well, so anyway, everybody should know by now. And if you don't, I'm a huge Hellboy fan.
Huge.
I've been reading the comic book since it debuted. And I just love it. I've got Hellboy stuff all over my office here. Uh and I just it's been a big fan forever. So I am cautiously optimistic because this trailer looked interesting and everything, but I'm not sure about the portrayal of Hellboy. Like this is the first time I'm actually questioning it. They had previously released a teaser, and I was kind of like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm in. This is working. I to me, I liked both of the previous portrayals. I liked Ron Perlman
Mhm.
as Hellboy, and I really liked David Harbour as Hellboy. And both different, unique takes on it. This new one with Jack Kesey as the character, I'm not sure based on this trailer. Um, I'm sure he's going to be fine. He's looking closer to the traditional
Comic up.
Hellboy in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like it's going to be interesting given that it's an R-rated movie. So I I'm cautiously optimistic. That's what I'm gonna say.
That's
Um,
usually the best way to go
yeah,
into it, and that's how I feel
yeah,
it too. I do like the fact that he looks more like what we're used to in the comics, and it
yeah,
it does have more of that feel of the comic. Like you stated before, he's usually more of a paranormal investigator type of,
yeah.
gumshoe kind of thing.
He's more
But
down to earth. Yeah,
right, so even though I'm not sure about Kesey, I feel like we just got to roll with it and see
yeah.
how it
No, and
is.
that's the thing. I'm not gonna like cast any kind of like doubt on it until I
Right.
actually see the movie. So
It looks really interesting though. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I've watched all of them. I mean, I'm not as dedicated as you. I haven't read all of the comics. I've read some, but I've always enjoyed the films, and like you said, I've enjoyed each of the portrayals of Hellboy by the different actors. So
Yeah.
this one, cautiously optimistic. We'll just go into it together. Cautiously optimistic.
Right. All right. So what do you have for me that's not that? Sorry, I had to steal your thunder on that one.
No, you don't have to apologize. Like I said, I knew we were gonna have at least that because it
Yeah.
just came out, and I know what a big fan you are. So
Yes. Yeah.
the only thing I had other than that, besides the other shared thing we were going to talk about, was that Caitlin Cronenberg's horror
Oh
thriller
yeah.
Humane is now streaming on Shudder. If anyone is interested, so
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet. That's the plan, to watch it sometime this week. But I'm really excited to see it, and I'm so glad that it's there. So I just wanted to let you know because I know we had talked about it previously. And
Yeah.
anytime that I can see rich people going through shit, it's always a delight for me.
Right.
I mean, the horror part is just the icing on, that's a cherry on top of that cupcake.
Right.
But I love when rich people fall apart. I don't know what it is, probably because I'm not rich and I just
Right.
enjoy seeing them go through shit. But it's going to be interesting for sure. And I'm sure I'll end up doing an episode or talking about it. Maybe I'll do a Eat the Rich
There
series
you
of
go.
films. Um,
Yeah,
but
no,
yeah, that was the only other thing I had, other than I know our geeky thing that we're going to talk about.
yeah. Yeah, I really like I saw that it was finally on Shutter, so I was like, okay, cool. I'm definitely going to add that to my list and watch it probably sometime this week as well. So we might be able to talk about it on the next episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Um, yeah. All right. I've got a couple more trailer things before we jump into the
Yeah.
big stuff. There was a teaser for the new animated show Creature Commandos, which is a new DC Universe property that's going to be coming on Max soonish. I don't remember when it's coming. But yeah, it's the new James Gunn written animated series that deals with an early version of or an earlier version of, I guess, what becomes Suicide Squad, or at least a different version. And in this version, it's a bunch of different monsters. Like there's Frankenstein's monster and the Bride. Um, there's Weasel, which we did see in James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie.
Right.
And they're all being led by Rick Flag Sr. Um, so, which is the father to Rick Flag that we also see in the Suicide Squad movies. So
Now, are
yeah,
there
so
any repeat offenders from Gunn's movies doing the voices, or
Yeah, I think I didn't quite see everybody's name, but I did see John Agee was in it. He's been in both Suicide Squad and in the Peacemaker series.
Mhm.
So he's definitely one of the voices in there. I honestly haven't looked it up enough to see all the other voices or
I
anything.
haven't seen this
Um
trailer, and now I have to go and watch this because
yeah,
I'm very interested to see how this is going to work out. And plus, I got to look up the cast, and
yeah.
I just saw Frank Grillo's in it. He's one of my
Yeah,
favorites.
he plays Rick Flag Singer.
Oh my
So
gosh,
yeah.
sold
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So, and I think they might be bringing him into live action at some point, but I'm not positive. So we'll see. But yeah, no, it definitely looks interesting. Um, looks like it's got that signature James Gunn humor to it, which I'm on board for. I dug. Um, I've been digging his stuff for a while, so it definitely I'll be keeping up with everything moving forward. So the next thing I have is the newest trailer for the movie Cuckoo, which is coming out very soon in just a couple of weeks. That's the new Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens, and Jessica Henwick is also in it, although she's barely been in any of the trailers. So, um,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens. It looks bizarre and weird.
Yeah, I definitely
But
want to see this one.
yeah, no, it looks really good. I'm excited for it. It's by Neon, the production company Neon, which is like been coming up hard this year, between I believe what's it called? Long Legs, which just came out, was a Neon
Right.
movie, and I believe what's it called? Immaculate was also in a Neon movie. So they they're coming up hard in terms of yeah, it's by Neon.
Yeah, they're
So
trying to
yeah,
play catch up with
with the
A24 and all of
A24,
these other,
yeah. Well,
yeah,
and I think it's
that's
interesting too because a lot of people are talking about um how A24 is kind of drifting. Not in a bad way, but they're drifting
mhm.
away from their kind of like signature vibe that they have. And I'm like, okay, well, it seems like Neon's picking up that vibe. So so it's a, but I don't think A24 is really going off the mark all that much. I mean, they've had some good stuff this year as well. So it's definitely gonna be fun. But yeah, Cuckoo looks insane and very cool, and I'm looking forward to checking that out soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. All you have to do is say Dan Stevens, and I'm gonna watch it, whether
Right?
it's good or not. I literally am gonna watch it. I do not care. That's I'm
Yeah.
obsessed, to say
Yeah,
the
I'm
least.
I'm like I'm on the Dan Stevens train now. I've always kind of liked him, but I wasn't like super into him as an
Right.
actor before. But he's been like once I look back at his filmography and everything like that, I can see why. He hasn't really done he's kind of been off and on with genre stuff.
Hmm.
But it does seem like he's doubling down on it lately. So I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, we're on board again. So let's do this. So
Shit, now that I'm sitting there thinking about it, didn't Neon do Possessor too? I feel like they did that one.
possibly, yeah.
So yeah, they are coming in pretty hard.
Yeah,
It's
no,
pretty
they are, but especially this year, it just seems like they're like on top of it this year. So they were just like, you know what, we're going all in.
And it's so funny
So,
too, because when we did our yearly wrap up, we were saying how 2023 was such a great year for horror, but 2024 has been outstanding
oh, it's
already,
been
and it's
it's been insane. It's been insanely good for horror. Yeah. So I'm excited. Yeah, our my top 10 is shaping up nicely. I've been trying to keep track of that, although I do think I missed. Oh no, I got long legs in there. So yeah. So yeah, no, it's definitely been a really good year. My top 10 is looking really nice so far. So but yeah, no, it's a Cuckoo's definitely I think gonna place in that top 10 easily. Um so it's gonna be a fight for that because there's still some good stuff that's
that's
coming
coming
out this
out.
later
Yeah.
this year. Yeah. So I'm interested to see what's happening. So all right. Well, let's get to one of the big topics of discussion for today, which is we both saw Deadpool and Wolverine this
Yeah,
weekend.
finally I went to the movies, y'all.
I know, yeah. She never goes to the movies. I always go to the movies and she never goes.
There was no way in hell I was missing this one.
Oh no. This is what I'm talking about. Even when I so before both of my kids started working at the theaters and then I was able to get free movies with them.
Hmm.
Um and before that happened, it had been a while since I'd been a regular moviegoer. Although I made sure that every Marvel movie I went to,
Right.
at least the MCU stuff, I didn't go to all the X-Men and everything else after a while because, admittedly the quality got lesser.
Hmm.
Um, but it's this one for sure because it's MCU and it's Deadpool. I've gone to all the Deadpool movies, of course, in the theater. I'm a big fan of. It's interesting too because as a character in the comic books, Deadpool's always been one of those ones I've just been like, it's okay. But the Ryan Reynolds version is just, it's
Hmm.
definitely my speed. And mostly because I've always been a big fan of Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
Uh, so yeah, so I was more than on board with this. Um, so there was no way you were going to stop me from going and seeing this movie. And actually, I got to go to the opening day fan event, which really wasn't all that special, but I did get a free Deadpool keychain.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah, so it was pretty cool. So um we enjoyed it quite a lot. This is so far. So I stopped doing 5-star ratings on Letterboxd if it was like
Hmm.
because I was doing that for like new movies and then like later on I'd have to backtrack it a little bit because I was like, well, maybe I don't like it full 5 stars. It's good, but maybe not a 5-star good. So I would start doing 4 and 4.5 stars. Deadpool and Wolverine got an immediate 5-star rating from me. I'm breaking my rule because it's just that good. It is that much fun. It's got so many great cameos, some that have already been that
Hmm.
people had kind of guessed or knew about beforehand, and some that were wildly unknown, that got huge audience applause, in response for. I don't know if it was in your theater because I would assume
Oh
so
no, it
because you,
was.
yeah, because I would assume so on a Saturday. There's still a lot of people who hadn't seen it. So I went on Thursday. So like it was like literally like the first showing. Um, so it's yeah, this movie, if you love Marvel, you love the Fox Marvel movies, and you're okay with Deadpool and or Wolverine, you will really, really enjoy this movie. I know a lot of people are burnt out on the multiverse stuff and everything, and they're just done with it. Go watch this movie. Hopefully it will change your mind. And I just read today, it's already over $200 million opening weekend. It's the biggest R-rated opening weekend of all time.
Jeez.
And it's the eighth biggest opening of all time for any
I
movie.
mean, I believe it. I'm with you 100%. It's a lot of fun. I have had a girl crush on Wolverine since I first saw him on comic pages. I know he's a fictional character. I don't care. I crush all kind of people. I don't
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't discriminate. I love the fictional and real alike. But my oldest son is named Logan. This is not
Oh, yeah.
a one-time thing for me. So, to see the Wolverine that I've always wanted to see. I mean, I got that in Logan sorta, but this
Yeah.
was just full on everything I ever dreamed of seeing. And there were parts that my husband had to hold my hand because I was just like, he could tell I was fangirling
Yeah.
and just like losing my shit.
Oh my God. There's so many fucking lose your shit moments in this movie.
It was so much. And I got to see it with my kids, which was,
Yeah.
they know my obsession and my love for this character that I've just obsessed over and just poured all of these little crush feelings. And they buy me all of these Wolverine things, and it's
That's cute. I
you have
love that.
no idea. I was literally like a 12-year-old watching this film. And
That's so
anytime I go to
awesome.
a Marvel movie and I get that feeling, it's a absolute
Right?
fucking banger for me. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, and that's what I don't think people understand is that they're for people who are like us, who are comic book readers, who grew up with this stuff and who have been waiting decades for this kind of crossover type stuff. This is our fucking jam.
Yeah, man.
Like this is everything we've always wanted. And I get that it doesn't work for everybody, for people who don't watch the like who haven't read the comic books and stuff. So I get it. It's not for you. I understand 100%. That's cool. Whatever. But for us, I am so happy that they are finally doing stuff like this. That you know, number one, that the MCU managed to work the way it has, and then
Hmm.
they doubled down on it to make multiversal shit like this that makes it even crazier. Um, and the fact that they pulled it off. Arguably, I know people have issues with some of the other multiverse movies and everything
Right.
like that, but you can't tell me that both this and Spider-Man No Way Home did not work. Both of those worked so well, and they they were both great movies and loving odes to their
The
respective
previous. Yep.
legacies. So,
Yeah. I really enjoyed the love letter, and not
yes.
only to fans, but to the previous incarnations of all of the characters. And man, when I tell you, it was single-handedly the most fun I've had at theaters this year. It was just out of this
Oh
world.
yeah.
I know we're gonna go back. I have to go back.
This is definitely, I will say this right now, outside of horror, and encompassing horror, like because Donna and I do a top 10 list at the end of the year, and we'll be doing a new one, but it's always horror. But this right now, Deadpool and Wolverine is my number one movie of the year,
Yeah.
hands down. It beats everything because it ticks everything for me in terms of the geek stuff, and because Whereas horror is a big love of mine now, comic books have always been a love for
Hmm.
me. And so, and especially Marvel. So this just it was so good. It's 5 stars. Everybody should go watch it. Whether you like that stuff or not, you'll probably find something enjoyable. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you really hate comic book stuff, don't go watch it,
Don't
please.
go. But it's just so much freaking fun. And let me tell you, I knew this was a spectacular movie because my daughter, who has seen Marvel movies at home, never has spent a dime to go see a Marvel film. And I shit you not, this was her first MCU movie that she actually paid to go money to see in theaters. So I knew that was spectacular. The fact that she actually went to see this movie and loved every minute of it
Yeah.
because such a staunch person. She doesn't like to go to superhero movies. I don't know why. Probably because she's annoyed with me, but that's okay. But it was just great. Like even her brothers were just like, I can't believe she actually showed up to
That's
this
funny.
one.
That's
And
awesome.
I mean, on the way home, she would not stop talking. It was that much fun.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. Um, Pray that we get some more of this because man, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
Just throw Spidey in the mix. That's what I want next time. Throw Spidey in the mix.
Right? Like that would be great. Wolverine,
Because
Spider-Man, and
Deadpool he
Deadpool.
loves Spidey, so that
Yeah.
would just be crazy.
Yeah. That would be insane. Yeah, it'd be a fun movie for sure. Ah, man. Too funny. All right. Well, yeah, we don't want to talk too much about it because we don't want to potentially
No.
spoil anything. But Donna and I will be talking about it a little bit more off air. And you can also catch me soon on podcast 616, where I will be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine with Hugh McStay and Ashley Thomas. So,
Woohoo.
yeah, it's going to be a fun episode. And that one's probably going to be a lot more spoilery. So, if you have watched it and you want to hear my thoughts on it, go check me out over there. I'm sure I'll be hyping it up once the episode comes out. So. All right. Well, the last thing that I want to talk about today is this weekend that we are recording is San Diego Comic-Con weekend. And I'm sure everybody's heard everything that's been coming out. And I know I'll be, again, talking about this more in depth probably with the folks over at Podcast 616. But yeah, Donna and I want to talk about one little aspect of this that they announced that the movie that was previously Avengers: The Kang Dynasty has now been renamed Avengers: Doomsday. And before we get into the thick of that, they did bring back the Russo brothers to direct these next two Avengers movies also. So that was a huge deal because they were originally going to be directed by two other directors, or at least one other director. So now they brought back the Russo brothers to help steer the ship a little bit back, hopefully for those people who have issues. Um, but I've been on board this whole time. People, come on. Um, but I am happy that they got the Russo brothers back because they did a good job with with steering
I
that
think they did
back
an
into.
excellent job.
Yeah, no, they did. Winter Soldier is hands down one of my favorite movies. So, and Infinity War and Endgame are like pitch fucking perfect. So, but yes, so you should already know we're going to be talking about the actor who is going to be portraying
Mhm.
Doom in this new movie, which is Robert Downey Jr. coming back to the MCU to play presumably a variant of Doom that will be a nice antagonist to them. Now, internet fan reaction has been mixed to say the least.
It really has.
With a large portion of people really not happy about this casting. And I kind of don't understand it. Because we literally right now have a movie because like that's there's a lot of people calling it lazy, and they're like, oh well, you could have cast anybody, you gotta cast Robert Downey Jr. And it's like, well, number one, they probably have a good plan. Let's wait and see. Like that's what frustrates me more than anything is all the people who are just like, oh, it's lazy and it's boring. You don't know. You don't know where they're going with
I
this.
think a lot of those people just want to be noticed and they want people to react to
There's
what
so,
they're saying.
I
You
will
know what
say
I mean?
some people for sure, but there are definitely people I follow who I do respect to a degree. there's
Mhm.
some things that they say from time to time that I don't agree with, but I mean that's how it is with fan stuff anyway. I get it, and don't get me wrong, I understand having reservations about it, but it's the MCU. They really like, and regardless of whatever you think, one way or the other, I think their track record speaks for itself. But that's what I'm saying though too, is like we literally have a movie in the theaters where they brought back a character that everybody said shouldn't be brought back, with an actor who said shouldn't be
Mhm.
brought back, an actor
Right.
who retired from that character, who
Yep.
then was like, and they're doing it in such a great way that I'm like, okay, look, I trust in these people to have a good storyline and a good reason to be bringing him back. So, not just for, there's so many people who are like, oh, well, they're just doing this to, bring back the old fans. And it's like, dude, they're not doing that. They understand, like, sure, that could be part of it. Some nostalgia thing, hoping that people will come back and, be on board. But if anything tells me anything, that everybody always cries the death knell of Marvel constantly when something does bad. Like,
Mhm.
because the last movie before Deadpool and Wolverine was the Marvels, and it did not do well at the theaters because of numerous factors. There's, there's so much going on. But this Deadpool and Wolverine just made over $200 million in one weekend. It's
Yeah,
it's
you kind
gonna
of got to
track.
trust the process
Yeah.
just a little bit. I
So
mean,
yeah, that's what's
what
frustrating. Go ahead.
also is astonishing. No, you're fine. What also astonishes me is that a lot of people that do have issues, they don't read the comics. I mean, we've already
Yes.
opened up the multiverse and they've expanded. And some components of the multiverse, there is a version of Doctor Doom that's actually Tony Stark. So being as that we opened up the multiverse aspect in all of these films, it maybe give it a minute because that's probably why they brought him back. I mean, just calm down. It'll be okay.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Like I feel like there's a good story coming, that, and here's my thing though too. Everybody's got to know Robert Downey Jr. is not going to stick around as Doom. Okay, this is probably he's probably going to be there for Doomsday and maybe for Secret Wars. Because everybody knows that the version of Secret Wars that was in the comic books was Doom getting control of the universe or
Hmm.
whatever. And so I can see that would potentially lead him into Secret Wars. So it's probably just a two movie thing for him. He's probably coming back. He's older, not old, but he's older, and he doesn't want to do this all the time. He's coming back for
Right,
a fun role that gives him, because like if they had asked him to come back to be Iron Man, I'm sure he would have said no. He was done playing Iron Man. He'd
right.
done that. His character had a good send off. That's it. One and done. Done. Now he's coming back to play somebody else, a different character, a different version of his character potentially, and in a way that gives him the chance to have a lot more fun than just coming back to be Tony Stark again. So I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm
I
excited.
was excited.
Yeah.
Like when I saw that, I immediately got excited. I was like, okay, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see what is
Yeah.
going to go down with this right now.
And this just goes back to what I said earlier about the Hellboy movie. I'm cautiously optimistic because
Yeah.
sure, there could be something where they could ruin it in some way, shape, or form, and it could end up being contrived and dumb. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think that you've got the Russo brothers on board for
Hmm.
both of these movies. They're probably going to have good writers. So, they may even bring back the writers of the original, those earlier Avengers movies. So, if that's what happens, you're going to get good movies, good stories, and they're going to build towards this as well. So, because we got some time, that movie isn't coming out till 2026 now.
Hmm.
So, we've got all the 2025 movies to build up to it.
And
So,
regardless what they say, they're still going to go because you're still going to put your money down just so you can bitch about what you didn't like about it. You know what I
right.
mean? Marvel's going to make their money whether you like it or not. It doesn't
Exactly.
really matter.
Yeah, no, and I think it'll be a big success, because it's Robert Downey Jr. back in the MCU. It'll be fun. Like
Hmm.
this is what like ultimately where it comes down to is it's just going to be fun. It is, as long as the movie is fun and exciting, and it's a good story. That's all I care about.
Yeah, and that's all.
So
That's all we want from the movies. It's that
exactly.
that nice. kind of vacation, mini vacation from real world issues, real world things that we have to deal with, to just enjoy some entertainment. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's what it is. Don't
Yeah.
get too twisted into it. It's not
Yeah. They're
it's not
just
that
movies
deep.
like that's like the people who get like really twisted up into the whole money thing, like, how much a movie's made and everything like that. And I know I've said that, at least twice now about how much money Deadpool and Wolverine has made, but
Hmm.
that was to prove a point, that it's doing well, that people are excited for it, and they're, you know, enjoying it, and people who
Hmm.
get it all up into like, oh, well, this, that, and the other thing about, box office and everything. It's like, okay, calm down. It's not what ultimately, how did you connect with the movie? Because like when it comes down to like that it made a ton of money, yes, that's great. Because you know what that means? It means we might get more Deadpool movies. But if like it's a gamble that paid off for them,
Yeah.
and so that's what makes me excited about the box office. That's the only time I care about box office, is like, does this mean they'll get more? Sure. Okay, great. Good. Other than that, was it an enjoyable movie for me? And do I hope that we get to see more? Yes. But that's, even if we don't, was that one movie at least enjoyable? So, and that's all I care about.
Yep.
So, but yep, but that's all I've got today. A couple of big things at the end there with Marvel, of course. But uh, it's it's exciting times. I'm very much looking forward to what's coming. But yeah, if you have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, go out and see that because it's
Go out and see it and then go see it again.
right.
We had such a good crowd when we went to.
Oh yeah.
Everybody got all the jokes, and it was just so
Oh
much
yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, so now we got to go because we have to talk about spoilery stuff, and you guys can't
Yes.
listen.
But before we move on to the rest of the show, why don't you let everyone know what you've got on your show this week?
So I'm gonna let you guys know. I biffed it. I said that last week was my last week of Summerween. Completely forgot I had one more thing in my back pocket. So, so I did make my apologies when you listened to my episode. I had one more film to talk about in my Summerween series, and that would be the 1998 classic. I consider it a classic. You may not. Deep Rising, because we had gone to the cabin, we've gone to the beach, we've stayed in the neighborhood, we went on a road trip, and now we're on a cruise ship. And there are some very scary things lurking about.
All right. Sounds fun. I don't believe I've ever seen that movie, so I'll have to watch that before I listen, of course.
Yeah, it's
So,
one of I think it was the first movie that Stephen Sommers directed before he did The
mm,
Mummy. So it's a creature feature horror thing, and I kind of go on a bit about my crush on Treat Williams. I have a lot of crushes, Robert.
always, always, I
Just
know.
let me live my life, y'all.
Oh, yeah, live it, girl.
But that's what I'm talking about this week. Deep Rising and possibly continuing Summerween. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
You and me both at this point. I'm just playing it by ear.
Just
Whatever I
roll
can
with
do,
it,
I can
baby.
do. Yep, exactly. All right. Well, definitely go check out her podcast, Donna the Dead, um, every week, in addition to catching her here. And
Yay.
until then, stay creepy. On today's episode, we're talking about the second MCU special presentation, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Joining me for this is returning guest Violet Hammond. Violet is the managing director of a theater in New York. She's also been a guest on several other podcasts, including Frame to Frame, Movieversaries, Den of 10, and more. Welcome back to the show, Violet.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's always good to have you on. We always have a great time.
We definitely do.
Well, today we are talking about the second Disney Plus MCU special presentation. The previous one we also talked about.
Yes,
Um,
I was
and
thinking I am the special presentation correspondent
just like I'm the special presentation correspondent for Podcast
for Podcast
616, because I did
616.
both of those on their show. So,
Oh God,
yeah.
you're so
So it
funny.
just all comes around in a circle.
It does. It
Um,
does.
so yeah, so this one was the like I said, the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Mm-hmm.
which was, as the first one was a Halloween-ish, you know, it came out during Halloween time. This
Yep.
one came out around the holidays. Um, and it it's interesting. I don't like it's written and directed by James Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
And so and everybody who was in the movie except for Zoe Saldana is in it.
Yes.
And makes sense why she's not in it.
It makes sense
Because
in
at
the
the time,
narrative. Yeah.
yeah, at the time she was not part of the team anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So it's this weird, it exists in this weird space of being almost about nothing.
Yes.
And that's kind of where I come at it from. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Um, what are
Agreed.
yeah.
It's okay. It's harmless.
Yeah.
It's harmless holiday fun, but it's kind of funny. And I love that you asked me to do this because coming to this from the last time you and I discussed these characters was when we were talking about Thor: Love and Thunder and
Yes.
how you see the Guardians at the beginning of that, and my personal disconnect with where we see Peter at the beginning of Guardians 3 with what he is like in Thor: Love and Thunder and what he is like in this. Where it's like,
Yeah.
how did it get so bad?
Yeah,
Like,
like he's
like
like yeah, because he's like
he's
weirdly super
functioning.
he's weirdly super depressed in this compared to how he was in Thor: Love and Thunder. Now again, I will say this, just like we talked about in Thor: Love and Thunder,
It was Taika. I know. It's Taika,
it's
it's not James
Korg.
Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, but it's also
Oh,
Korg
and
as an unreliable
the
narrator.
unreliable narrator. So yes,
So yeah, so
I
I'm
accepted that.
taking so I'm taking that as that's not really what was going on with the Guardians. That's just Korg's perception of what was going on with them at that time. So
Yes.
so that being said, I can understand the weirdness of him being depressed in this one
Mm-hmm.
compared to, because I mean by the time we get to Guardians of the Galaxy 3, you can see he's still dealing with that, and so with James Gunn being the one actually steering the ship of these characters, it makes
Yeah.
more sense as to where they're at in their lives.
He's
So
depressed, but he's also in this for about 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So you don't really get that much depression from him. This is the
yeah.
this is
Well,
the
and
Mantis
this
and
is
Drax show.
it's the Mantis and Drax show. So
Yeah.
it's weird too because everybody else is barely in this
They're
thing. So
barely in
it's
it.
like, how is this the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special? They're barely in it. It's just Mantis
Karen
and Drax most
Karen
of the time.
Gillan says two things, I think.
Oh,
Like they are, yeah, no, nobody's around. It's Mantis and Drax, and I'm gonna be like perfectly 100% clear. That's the best part of it. Like they're great. I mean,
no.
I'd watch
Well,
the two of them be
Mantis
stupid
is.
anywhere, so it's fine. But it is a little. It's the whole thing just feels a little. Why are we here? What's going
Yeah.
on? Like
Well, and
there's
here's the other part of it though, too, is that I feel like Mantis and Drax a little goes a long way. And we get a lot of them in this.
we
Um,
do.
and I always their dynamic is funny, but I don't always love their dynamic. I think that this would have been a more interesting endeavor if it had been Nebula and Mantis.
I'd be fine with that, but also
Yeah.
because I like more Karen Gillan is always a good thing, so
Well,
that's fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I feel like Nebula's always kind of gotten the short end of the stick in terms of character development. She constantly just gets like pushed aside compared to everybody else, and she's one of the more fascinating characters in the whole Guardians universe.
Yeah,
So
I won't argue with that. I can't remember where I put her in my Den of 10 ranking, but I'm pretty sure she was like 5 or 4. Like I have her ranked pretty high for her character development, and I
yeah,
love that character. So I would have loved, yeah, I would have loved to have seen
yeah.
more of her for sure in this.
When I remember talking to my guest on the first Guardians of the Galaxy episode that I did, and talking about how she should have been the main villain of that movie, where
Yes.
Ronan was kind of like not really great, and I think that if she had been the main villain of the piece, it would have had a lot more depth to it.
Mm-hmm.
and a lot more of this, because they would have been Gamora and her fighting would have been more, um, I don't know, it just would have been very much deeper in terms of like the
Yes.
character development, and especially for her eventual um turnaround.
Yeah.
Her redemptive arc would have been even stronger if she had been the main villain of that one.
We had this discussion
So
on Infinity War, I think.
probably.
Yeah. we, we definitely did, and I agreed with you that that would have
Yeah.
been, yeah, because it's a horrific waste of Lee Pace in that movie. He's just kind of there. And he's
Yeah,
a
he's just kind
great
of there.
actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
no,
and yeah.
more Nebula. I am team more Nebula always.
Yeah. And I'm fine with Rocket and Groot kind of sitting on the sidelines because I feel like they've gotten not a lot, but I Rocket eventually gets a lot.
Yes.
And I'll be talking to another guest on that movie. But with Groot, I mean, you can't get a lot with him.
No.
So you know, again, a little goes a long way with Groot. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that we get what we get with Rocket in the next movie.
Right.
Um, so it's like everybody's gotten kind of something, and now Mantis and Drax get something in this. And this is
Yep.
probably the best way to do it for them too, because a little goes a long way
Mm-hmm.
with both of them. And this is it's just small enough
Yeah.
that for me they kind of overstay their welcome, but like not in a terrible way. Like I looked at my letterbox, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed their interactions. um I enjoyed the whole going and getting Kevin Bacon thing. That was funny. I love that Kevin Bacon was completely on board with doing it.
Oh,
um
yeah. I have my
yeah.
note in here is he is such a good sport.
Yeah.
Like he
Oh man.
he really is. He's such a
Yeah.
good sport for what they do to him in this. It's great.
Now I will say it like, you know, uh James Gunn is known for his music, the putting the music in for each one of his movies. I
Mm-hmm.
just like I get that this he was going more for a more of a rock tinged
Mm-hmm.
um stuff. I don't feel like, maybe just because it's not my sensibilities, I don't feel like it meshed as well. Um
I didn't like the music in this.
there was I did like the weird Santa Claus one that the alien band does. I think that one's
Yeah.
stupid and catchy enough that like it could actually catch on.
Yeah, that one
Um
was fun. That's the first one,
um
right? When they first
yes,
and Peter's
where
like, "No, this is all wrong." Yeah.
yeah.
That
And
was
he's like, "You
funny.
guys just got these
Yeah.
instruments?"
Yes. Yes.
um but yeah, so I like that song. All the other songs placed within it are okay. I don't like they I don't know. I guess I just not they're so like
They're generic. It feels very generic. It's like what you would be
I
listening
he's
to at the
trying.
mall.
Yeah,
It's like a
and I
mall
get that he's
Christmas
trying to go for
music.
non-traditional. He's trying to go for all the stuff that isn't used normally. All the rock tinge stuff
Yeah.
and more soulful type of things and everything. I'm like, okay, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, you know, uh, give us
It's
some
not
Christmas
it's
in
not
Hollis or
exciting.
something. Um, but I'm old
But
school.
no, that's not what
I
we
like Die
get.
Hard. No.
Yeah, me too. I like Die Hard too. But no, we get ho 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 ho, Earthlings are weird. That's what we get for this one.
Again, I like that song. That
I
one
do
song
like
is
that too.
awesome.
Yeah, that one song is good. Yes.
Now the song with Kevin Bacon, oh, I don't like that one at all. That one, I don't know.
Uh,
Like, I think he's a good singer. I just think, you know,
but well, yeah, I mean, this it's the song stylings of Kevin Bacon, and that's fine.
yeah.
But it's again, this whole thing just feels very, did we really need this? Like, and the thing
Yeah.
is
I think
that,
that's ultimately, yeah, where we come at it from is like, did we really need this thing? Like
but
I would have
but
taken any other kind of interesting Guardians of the Galaxy short, like special
yes,
presentation, but a
right.
holiday special just seemed weird. Like I get it, they're trying to like, oh, Christmas, is special no matter where you are, blah blah blah.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, and that's all fine. But and it was exciting to hear about, like, oh wow, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday special.
yeah.
That sounds fun.
Well, and
And
and here, go ahead, go ahead.
like, and I'm not gonna say it's not fun, but it just leaves you with this really
There,
weird feeling.
yeah, there are fun moments. I'm not gonna lie. There are some very fun moments in this. There's like,
Hmm.
Rocket getting Winter Soldier's arm as a
Please.
gift. I knew
Please.
you would love that.
Please.
Um, um,
Oh God.
and then what
Like
else?
where? How? Where did she get it from? But all that
I'm
does is just
assuming I'm
open up
assuming it's
more
an
questions for me.
I'm just assuming it's one of his old arms. Like
I
she
hope
didn't go
so.
and like
Yeah.
grab the one off his arm, like and do like a Wakandan thing and make his arm fall off. Um,
I want that
but
scene.
right. Um,
Oh God.
because it's a clean arm. It's like there's no flesh on it. It's not like she chopped it off of him.
Yes. Oh no. No.
Uh,
That it has to be an old one, but still it's like
yeah, that's what I
where in
think.
the world
She
did this
probably
come
just
from?
went to Earth, went to like old Hydra storage, grabbed an old arm, replacement arm, and brought it to Rocket.
There you go. Merry
It was the
Christmas, Rocket.
easiest. Yeah, yeah. Merry Christmas, Rocket. Um, so the interesting thing about this is that in a lot of ways, what this is doing is it's recreating a moment in time and trying to do
Mm-hmm.
it better, because um, it's recreating in a way the Star Wars holiday special,
That's yes.
from the late
That's
70s, because it's got the rock, it's got the music, the
yep.
musical performances in it. It's got the weird animation segments in it.
Yes. But I
You
do
know,
like that the flashbacks are animated. I think that's kind of
yeah.
fun.
Well, and
Yeah.
it makes sense, because
Yeah.
I mean, you could have brought Rooker back. I mean, he is back because it is his
It's his
voice.
voice. Yeah, he's
Um,
there, but I like that it was
yeah,
animated. And you don't have to cast a kid as young Quill. You
yeah,
just do it animated and that's fine.
yeah.
And it
It makes it easier, and
definitely,
plus,
yeah.
yeah, it's just obviously he's trying to go for that. Let's create a holiday special in that way, but make it better. Make it
Right.
actually good. Which I'm fine with. It again, it has its moments, and there are definitely some fun things in it, but it's just um
Pointless.
yeah. But I mean, and this is what's interesting too, because there is a point to it. There is a weird point to it, and it's just to tell us that Mantis is
Is
Peter's
Peter's
sister.
sister.
Yeah,
But like what's insane about it is that in the first 10 minutes, it's just like that secret that and he says whatever about
yeah.
eating all the nuts or whatever. And it's like,
Zarg nuts, yeah.
yeah, that you're Peter's sister. And I was like,
Yeah,
let's throw it right
it's
out there. It's so like I mean
it's so
I,
off the cuff, and it loses its emotional weight.
there's no well, yes. In the beginning, yes. And then you
Yeah,
get
yeah,
through
yeah.
all of the like craziness. But I do
Yeah.
really like the scene between Mantis and
No,
Peter
yeah,
at
the
the
scene
end.
between Mantis and Peter is very good.
That's
I really
lovely.
like that. I think that, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was worth most of this. And
Yes.
it was a nice payoff for it, which
Mm-hmm.
never gets mentioned again, because
They,
in Guardians Volume 3, they never talk about it.
they
They never even
do
mention it.
they
Do they?
mention it a couple of times. Yeah, no, they do. Because I
Okay, I haven't
remember
watched the movie in a while, I guess.
yeah, no, they do. They mention it a couple of times, but again, it's the same way. It's very
Like
like
weirdly off the
offhand.
cuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very like, well, because I'm your sister or something. Like she says it to him, and then I know there's a couple other times where people talk about it because I think when we went, we were with our friend who hadn't seen the holiday special and was like, what's going on? And we're like, we'll tell you later. Don't worry about it. Like, but really, like that's all you need to know that they're
Yeah.
brother and sister, and then you just kind of like move on. But yeah, that that is the only reason this exists in any like narrative standpoint, and it's
Right.
handled in the weirdest way. It's just so weird.
It's just, yeah, it's yeah. So for anybody who hasn't watched this, and you should have watched this if you're listening and you're this far in,
Listening
um
to us tell you how weird it is. Now though, you should watch it though.
go back and watch it. But if for anybody who hasn't watched it, basically the conceit of the whole episode is that Peter's depressed about Gamora
Mm-hmm.
not being around. And so then he and they've bought Nowhere from
Yes.
whoever it was. I can't remember who they said they bought Nowhere from. But so they're in charge of Nowhere now. It basically a lot of this kind of sets up stuff that's going to pay off in the next
For the
movie.
yes.
And so they bought Nowhere. They're trying to fix it all up. They're trying to run it all and everything. He's just depressed. It's Christmas time.
On
And
Earth.
so yeah, it's
Because
Christmas time on
Christmas
Earth.
is not a thing.
Christmas is not a thing anywhere else in the
Christmas is not a
galaxy.
thing anywhere else, but basically what it sounds like is that Mantis is guessing that this is something that he's
The
upset
reason,
about
yeah,
because it is shoehorned in the most awkward way, the first animated section. And it's like, and
yeah.
that's how Yondu ruined Christmas. I'm like, what is happening? Like they just like there is no preamble. You don't know what's going on. It's only 45 minutes, but it's only 45 minutes because there is like no setup or payoff to anything. They just run in with like a frying pan, smack you in the face with it, and then you just go on your merry way. That is what fits in this.
Oh my god, I'm dying. Oh my god.
There
You're
isn't
not
like
wrong.
no, it's like there's no and this is James Gunn who's really good at this too. That's why I'm so perplexed and so, like I want to know what happened in the room on this. I
I
really
know
do.
what happened. I know what happened. He
So
had the idea.
weird.
He had the idea for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yes.
Disney was like, "Hey, would you like to do something like for as a special, maybe as a holiday special or something like that?" And maybe he came up with the idea. But like at the same time, I don't think it was a fully formed idea. It was something that he was doing just like as a let me do something else to put out there maybe as a stopgap before the movie before I get
Right.
done with the movie because he had gone off and did Suicide Squad for DC.
Mm-hmm.
And so coming back, I think this was his like first. I think I don't know if this is what happened, but this may be what he did first before they went in to do Guardians 3.
Right.
And so if that's the case, then it was kind of like a let's do something weird and fun and kind of get my sea legs back under me in the
Mm-hmm.
world of Guardians. Um if that's the case, I mean it's just that's why it's like almost like not it's not worthless, but it's just like it's so just bizarre and weird and doesn't really matter in the overall thing because
No,
everything that you could have told that was important in this can be told in the Guardians number 3.
correct. Correct. You
So
could have with the amount of care they take to the Mantis is his sister situation in this, you very easily could have just dropped it in the middle of Guardians 3 and been done with it. Because it's not,
right.
it's just there's no finesse to this at all. We're
Yeah.
talking about we spent all that time talking about Werewolf by Night because of the aesthetic and the
Yeah.
the care that was taken with it. There was no care taken with this at all.
Yeah.
It
And
was
I really think this was mostly like a thing, a vehicle for Mantis and Drax. They were just like,
yes.
okay, well, let's have them have a fun adventure doing this, getting Kevin Bacon for Peter, and let's figure out how to like work it around everything else.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then because that's mostly what it is. It's this weird, um, like
Kidnapping.
well, I just mean this weird little adventure with Drax and
Yes.
Mantis on Earth. Like they come to
Right.
Earth and they're just like, okay, let's kidnap, you know, Kevin Bacon. Um, I just it's so
It
weird.
it's confounding. That's why
It's
like there's a reason
there's
why we
again there's fun
talked.
moments in this. Yeah,
There's a reason
there's
why we were like, what do we do? Because it's like they don't even know what to say. No, we have to say something.
yeah.
Like it no, it is. It's fun. It is fun.
No, it
And
is. There are lots of fun moments in this. I did like that's what I just really want to stress is
it's
it's
not
not as bad
bad.
as we're making it sound
No, it's not
because we're
bad.
making
It's
it
just
sound really, really bad.
I know I don't want to make it sound like I don't like it because I do, but also it, it could have been better, I
I think
guess.
that's ultimately where I get it. Like
Yeah.
it could have been better. It could have been more consequential.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like because they were going like they didn't want to do anything that would be too um that because they know not everybody's going to watch this on Disney Plus.
Right.
That they knew that they couldn't put anything in this that was going to be important for the overall story.
Right.
So yes, you find out about her being his sister, but like you said, they say it in the movie, and there's there was no real thing for that. Like
No.
literally, it's just a silly adventure to get Kevin Bacon and and Peter in the same space,
Right.
um, just to have that, and just to kind of recreate the Star Wars holiday special in a way,
Yeah.
and to potentially make it better, which they do. I mean, the Star Wars holiday special, if anybody's seen that, and it's easily obtainable on YouTube, um, I suggest you don't watch it, um, because it's not good. It's terrible.
No.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, in that way he succeeds. He makes it a much better holiday special, but it has the same weight
Yes.
to it that the holiday special did. It's just you don't. It's not essential. So if
No.
you like the Guardians characters, specifically Mantis and Drax,
Mantis and Drax. Yeah.
then yeah, hell yeah, watch it. It's in that way, it's really fun.
Yeah.
If you want Mantis and Drax having a lot of fun being themselves and everything, then definitely watch it. If you're going looking in for anybody else having any kind of character development, no, don't. It's not worth it. There's nothing there.
No.
So
they're barely in
but
it.
yeah, but there are good little moments, like we said. Cosmo's in it. There's a little fun thing with Cosmo. There's the little fun moments that you can take out of it. You can see Nebula is still growing in her own way. She's finding her way still. So I think in those ways that it's interesting because it is those little teeny tiny bits.
Yes.
So
crumbs.
But other than that, then yeah. And again, I think it's just because they were like, well, we can't put anything of substance in this, so it's got to be as super fluff as possible. So
yeah. It See, like, I don't know. Like, I have to kind of like take a little bit of issue with that because we're about to get a Captain America movie where if people didn't see Falcon and the Winter Soldier, they're not going to know what's going on.
But that's different though,
So,
because that
yeah.
series was important. That was a
Yeah.
series rather than just a one-off special. And it's the same
Yeah.
with because again, even with the one-off special, like we talked about with Werewolf by Night has consequences, it has meaning, it has depth.
Yes.
There's a lot
Yes.
going on in that. That leads into potentially other things. Whereas this really didn't lead into anything. It didn't really resolve anything. It was more sight gags and because like again, we going into the whole Nebula giving Rocket Winter Soldier's arm. It's just payoffs to
jokes that were made a long time ago. Yeah.
The whole Kevin Bacon being the hero of the earth.
Yep.
It's just like, so all those little things, it's just like, well, let's just directly reference that now. Like let's put it in there and just have fun with it. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's fan service at its best in a way, but it's fan service at its worst too, because it's fan service that doesn't really have any meaning behind it.
No.
So
yeah.
So I think that's ultimately where, because just have been talking to people about Deadpool and Wolverine and how that kind of fan service has depth to it. There's a lot that's going on in that that means a lot to people and has really great payoffs. And this doesn't. And again, I really think it's just because they knew a lot of people weren't going to watch it. It wasn't going to have the same viewership. And so they were just like, well, let's just make something inconsequential, but kind of fun.
Yeah.
And again,
just
nothing wrong
silly.
with that. Just like any holiday special, really. It was just the meaning of Christmas in the end. What does that mean to anybody? And it's just about, spending time with the people you love during the holidays.
Right.
So in that, it accomplished its goal.
Yes, it did. Yes,
I'm trying to find a silver lining.
Yeah, I'm like, you're really reaching, but it's okay. Like it's fine. But again, like I do want to stress, it's not that it's bad.
No,
It just
no.
is it's not necessary.
Yeah, and that's ultimately where it comes down to it. When you are looking at what you want to watch in the MCU stuff like that, there are
Hmm.
things you can push aside and just be like, I don't really need to watch it. I would even argue that if you don't really care about the monster side of things, you don't have to watch Werewolf by Night.
No,
I would suggest you do because it's fun.
because it's great.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but ultimately, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is not essential in any way, shape, or form. You can
No.
completely skip that and not have any issue. Same with the Groot mini episodes that are on Disney Plus. Those
Yeah.
are those are just if you like Groot
If
and
you
you want to
like
see
Groot,
more
you'll want to
baby
see
Groot
it.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that, then yeah, hell yeah, go check those out. They're fun for that. But that's
Hmm.
it otherwise. Um, everything else has its own little, things, I mean, you could argue Moon Knight has literally no like Moon Knight is a good show. It's got great stuff going on in it, but if you want to like watch it for just that, yes, absolutely. But then if you want to watch it for the overall MCU connectedness, it has no connection
It
to
has
anything
none.
whatsoever
No.
so
Yeah.
far. So
Yeah. So what we know.
yeah,
You never
so
know.
so but it's is so I think that's ultimately where you got to come down on it, is that if you like the Guardians and you want to see
Hmm.
more of them, then
Hmm.
definitely you probably already watched this. But
Yes.
if you haven't, definitely watch it. It's fun. It's light and breezy, and it's a good 45 minutes. It's not terrible in any way, shape, or form.
No.
You might
We.
like the music, even if I didn't.
Hmm.
Um, um, the again, that one song that the one band does is really catchy, and
Yeah, that one's
the
fun.
Earthlings are so weird.
Earthlings are so weird.
It's that one is it's hilarious. It's a great Christmas song in a way. So, but it is.
Oh, it
If
it
you like
is. It is.
if you like funny Christmas songs, it's really good for that, you know.
Yes, because it's I
Um,
mean, yeah,
because how many times can you listen to Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer? Well,
oh God.
um, yeah. But yeah, no, you know, it's good, but it's not essential. And so,
Yep.
take that for what you want. So,
Hmm. But if you're a
uh
Drax and Mantis fan,
yeah, and if you
you
really
will
like
enjoy it.
Drax and Mantis, you'll enjoy it because it'll be fun.
Yep. I know.
I was just looking at my letterbox and just trying to figure out if there was anything more
If there's anything
that
else
I
you
could.
said. No, I mean
Yeah, it
there's
literally wasn't.
no, I mean even I usually have pages and pages of notes. I have not not a
Yeah.
lot. I just
Did we hit all your
really
notes?
I just really enjoy that Kevin Bacon is like again, he's such a good sport in this. Literally
Yeah.
they must have called him into a room and said, "Hey, like this is what we want to do." And he was like, "Cool." And he just, I mean, he runs around like a crazy person. He gets hypnotized by Manson and does all that silly stuff. He sings with the band. Like, and even when he's himself, he still wants to, help people. And that's nice. Like that's nice to have that be who you are out in the
Yeah.
world because I think he's always had the reputation of being a pretty nice, cool guy, and he definitely
Yeah.
comes off as like a nice, cool guy in this. The fact that they have and introducing Kevin Bacon on there is, I mean,
Right.
that's like one of the best laughs. It's not even
Yeah.
anything but like text on the screen, but it's hilarious.
Yeah.
There's a couple of really good lines of dialogue in here. The "you got me a human being as a present" that's literally human trafficking was that's probably my biggest laugh of of it. That's great. The
Yeah.
fact that he's like literally in a box all wrapped up saying, "Guys, I'm running out of air." Like, I mean, it's funny. There's
No,
definitely a
yeah.
lot of funny parts in this, so it's fine. It's cute when they have everything all decorated for Christmas,
Yeah.
where with all
All
the
the lights are
lights
going
and
and
the
this fake snow and
snow.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's cute. It's all cute.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I mean, you do get it in a nice payoff with Peter and Mantis at the end. That scene
Yeah.
is really lovely, and Peter says that finding out she was his sister is the nicest Christmas gift, and that's
Yeah.
lovely. It's
Well,
cute.
and I think that's where it comes down to is like, Peter has just been a person who wanted a family.
Yeah.
And he had that with Yondu and the Ravagers at first. But
Mm-hmm.
once that wasn't a thing anymore, and he started, assembling the Guardians in their way, that became his family. And so,
Yeah.
finding out that one of those people is literally your family, and especially in a time where you are down like that, and so
Yep.
it just, yeah, that held a deeper weight to it than it probably could have, for sure. So,
Yeah.
and so I
It
mean,
was
that's why
nice.
it's not like it's inconsequential.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's something that could have been done in the movie and done just as well, um
Without
without
Christmas on it.
without Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it is kind of weird. It's like you could have done any other kind of weird little special, and it didn't have to be a holiday special. You didn't have to cram in the Christmas stuff. And I'm not against Christmas. Don't
No, I
That's
love
not what I'm saying.
Christmas.
I like Christmas. It's my second favorite holiday after
Halloween.
Halloween. Yeah,
Thank
Halloween's the best.
you.
Yes. Halloween is all year in here.
Oh,
Um,
nice. This is
as my
easy.
decor shows.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but and then
Mm-hmm.
so but we but it's a good show. It's a good episode. It's just a nice little way to reconnect with both the Guardians and with James Gunn back on them before we get the sob fest that Guardians 3 is.
Yep.
So the absolute heartbreak that is in that movie.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Yep. Yep.
which I will be talking about soon enough.
Mm-hmm. I
So
won't I won't even get into it. You
yeah, no, no.
you go have you go have a great conversation. I would not be able to talk about it without crying. So
Yeah.
go have fun. Nope. Nope.
But yeah. So that's all I really have to say about it. It's good, it's fun. It it's not essential. So
No.
if you don't really care about any of that stuff that we've talked about, you don't need to watch it.
No.
But if any of that did pique your interest, yeah. I mean, because we didn't really talk about Drax and Mantis on Earth, because they have a little bit of fun, like walking around Hollywood for a bit before they
Yep.
go and find Kevin Bacon. And so that part's
Yes.
fun. That part's a lot of fun.
Taking pictures
Because
with
it's
people
just
on the
silly.
street and
Yeah.
yeah. Or even when they get to his house and it's the crazy doorbell. They're on the
Yeah.
video doorbell or like okay, so there's two big laughs in this 45
Okay.
minute Marvel special presentation. The biggest laugh for me personally, I've already mentioned. You got me a human being as a present. That's human
Right.
trafficking. That's hilarious. The second time, I am embarrassed to say how much I laughed at Drax throwing Mantis over the gate. I thought that was like, that's funny.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, because I mean, I know you said like you need them in smaller doses, but I do think that they're hilarious. Like, they
No,
are
they're
so
too
funny.
hilarious. Yeah, they're
Yes,
very hilarious.
they're so funny. I do. I love Dave Bautista. I think he's so great. He's he just picks her up and like literally just yeets her right over
Mm.
and it's funny. Like that, it is very funny. It is very funny. But
No, it definitely has a lot of great funny moments. Um, there's Drax. It's hard to deny that the Drax and Mantis parts are fun.
yes.
So I mean, again, if you like them,
Mm-hmm.
and who doesn't, then yeah, definitely that's a good fun watch.
Yes.
So yeah, no, there's a
Yes.
there's a lot to like. There's really a lot to like about this. That's why, that's because I really
Yeah.
don't want people thinking that we're shitting on it, because we're
No,
not.
we're not.
It's a
We're not. It's
you know
it just doesn't have like the heft that other
Right.
things
It's one of
do.
those things I think you can watch once, you'd be happy with it. I don't think it's going to be a holiday staple unless you really, really love those characters.
That's the thing. It's not
Yeah.
something that you would watch. It's not like
Yeah.
Werewolf by Night where it's like it's spooky
Yeah.
season where I'm gonna wind up watching this like two or three times.
Right.
Like, like or any other like holiday movie that you can think of where you're like, okay,
Yeah.
it's time for Christmas movies. Like
Yeah.
most
we're gonna
likely
put
will
on
not
Elf,
be.
A Christmas Story,
Yeah.
and not the holiday special.
No.
Yeah.
Well, because it also, no, you know what? I'm like, because I'm not gonna get it. Just it is. It's like it's even skippable in a Christmas sense because it's not like there really is anything that is like
Yeah.
intrinsically Christmas about it.
No.
There,
No.
it's all it's just the conceit to
Cr-
get Kevin Bacon being
yeah.
silly. That's it. That's
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
it. And that's
Christmas is
fine.
used as the yeah, no, Christmas is used as the, the motivating factor, like the kind
Right.
of the surrounding thing to kind of get everything in place. Other than
Mm-hmm.
that, yeah, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't feel
No.
Christmassy. It doesn't feel like the holidays.
It
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it at all. And I mean that goes for like everything. We've already talked about how the music isn't really like that Christmassy. Like this could have
Yeah.
been the Guardians of the Galaxy Easter special. And we could have talked about like Kevin Bacon, rising from the dead after 3 days or something, and it probably would have fit just as well. There wouldn't have been, and we would have found out that they were brother and sister and gone on to
Yeah.
Guardians 3, and it would have been there's an alternate universe where that happened
Yeah.
because there isn't anything like specifically Christmas in here. You could have made this
No,
like the
right.
Thanksgiving special and it would have worked the
Right.
same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it would have.
They're
Yeah.
really it's just very flimsily tied together, but it's still
Yeah.
fun. Like I do want to say like it is fun. It is
Right. I
but
know
it's just not
it sounds like we're hating on it and it's like it's so
we're
not.
not
Yeah.
we're not, but just, don't feel
Yeah,
bad
just be
not
like
watching it if you don't like Drax
yeah.
and Mantis,
Mantis, yeah.
basically. Yeah. If you like them, don't miss it.
Yeah, I would say the only reason to watch it is if you really like Mantis and Drax.
Yes.
Outside of that, if you're only kind of soft on them, it's not a big deal. Like, you just have to really be into those two characters, and that is really the only reason. Because if you're going into it because you want to see Peter or Nebula or anybody else, they're barely in it.
Yeah.
They're one in the beginning and in the end, and that's it.
Yep.
And so it's not overall, it's not worth it for that aspect of it. So, but if you like Mantis and Drax and you like a fun story, um,
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of Christmassy but not really, then check it out.
Generic holiday.
Yeah. Ge- Generic winter holiday special.
Generic winter. There's fake snow. There's an elf. There's an inflatable elf and a candy cane.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
that is some of the funniest parts too.
that
So,
is. That is. I mean, and also
yeah.
when the police all show up to try to help Kevin Bacon, and
Yeah.
that's also very funny. I mean, yeah. But
Yeah. So just
oh
go into it
God.
with that knowledge. Once you've
Yeah.
heard this episode, go into it with that knowledge that, yeah, of everything we've just said. So
I knew we were gonna be unhinged, but wow.
this is this is why it took us like almost an hour before we even started talking about it.
Well, because like we're done.
I know.
We
There's nothing
talked
more to
about it.
say.
There isn't anything more to
I
say. I
think
mean,
we've actually been going around in a circle for a
we've been
bit,
going in a
saying the same
circle,
stuff
saying the same
mostly.
thing over and over again, just to
And I'm
fill up
keeping
the
all this
time.
into the episode
I know you are. I know you are. I mean, I will say,
because it'll make it fun.
oh, it's hysterical, but also I did enjoy the fact that this is how I spent the last day in July. So it really is Christmas in July. We
Yeah.
just made
There you go.
it. July 31st.
Perfect. I
I
timed it right.
watched, yeah, I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas quote unquote special. And then we
Right.
talked about it.
Oh, yeah. So that definitely this is going to be one of those things that now that I've watched it again and recorded about it, I will
You're
likely
never
never
gonna
watch it
watch it
again.
again.
Yeah,
Nope.
I'll likely never watch it again. It will not be anything that will be important or necessary. So I'm like,
Nope. Me
it was
either.
good. It was fun, but
We're
not
done.
enough for me to watch it again. Yeah.
No.
So, but anyway, so
A
if you do
ringing
choose to watch it,
endorsement.
if you do choose to watch it, it is on Disney Plus. So you can go check it out at any point that you want to. So, all right. Well, that being said, I don't have anything else to talk about it. And
Nope.
obviously you don't either.
Nope.
So why don't you let people know where they can find you online?
You can find me on my link tree. It's linktr.ee/violet.h.310. And on there are links to my socials and all of my recent things. Most recently, I had the pleasure of speaking about a movie that I absolutely adored and can't wait to see again, Twisters. Absolutely loved it. So I was talking to my good friend Sam for Real Talk for Twisters, and I was on TARDIS Crew for this most recent season of Doctor Who, also available on Disney Plus, everybody. And other than that, I talked about Werewolf by Night and Thor: Love and Thunder with you. Had a great
Oh
time.
yeah.
Yeah, so those are the top couple of links you'll see on my link tree. If you want to hear me have more to say about other things that are not the Guardians of the Galaxy generic holiday special.
Oh man. Yeah.
Listen, we knew it was going to happen.
Yes. Yeah. No. It's yeah. I was afraid that we were both going to be on the same page on that. So, which is fine, you know.
Which is fine.
Again.
No, it is
Yeah.
fine. And it's
Yeah.
good. Watch it
Yeah. If you want.
or skip it.
Yeah.
You can do
Yeah.
either. And it won't matter.
It really won't.
Oh God.
All right. Well, yeah, so all that being said, I did announce on my social on a couple of the socials on Twitter and Instagram that I will be taking a break for the month of August from posting new episodes, except for the little mini episodes that I do with Donna every episode. Those will still be being released, but the regular bulk of the episodes will be coming back in September, which we will be continuing alternating with Marvel and continuing on with my 80s Kinder Trauma series that I started as well. So taking a little bit break to get caught up because I got a little bit behind and don't have any recordings. So I'm throwing this one up a day late, and then the rest of this stuff for the rest of the year is plotted out and planned. I just got to get everybody recorded, and that's what I'm going to try to do in August is get everybody recorded and um, get it all set up so that I'm a little bit ahead again.
Yay.
Yeah. So, and then we'll see. I'm thinking about doing a little programming change. I'm not going to talk about it here, but you'll find out soon enough once I've decided on exactly what I'm going to do. But it, you know, it'll still be the creepy and geeky you love. So. So, all right. Well, thanks again for coming on, Violet. I very much appreciate it. It's always great to have you on here. And I know I've got you scheduled for at least one, if not two, future episodes. Looks like I've got one, two. Yep, two so far.
Yep.
So,
We're always talking. We're always coming up with ideas.
Always. So, all right. Well, I hope you have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yay. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening. If you like what you've heard, please consider giving the show 5 stars and a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And share the podcast on social media to help spread the word. Make sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast app or at creepyandgeeky.com. Music for the podcast is Gratitude, composed by Harper Smith. You can follow the podcast by going to creepyandgeeky.com and clicking on any of the social links. If you'd like to follow me, you can find my links at geekthulu.com. You can support the podcast by ordering teas and more on TeePublic or by donating to the coffee page. All of the links are in the show notes. Finally, don't forget, stay creepy.